Advisor websites at launch in Connecticut. So this is what we can't do yet. We can't do it yet. I'm putting in yet at the end of that sentence at the top, and you'll see why. So we cannot enroll Connecticut customers on our Think Plus Advisor websites right out of the gate. They're not going to be active. There won't be an option in Connecticut on your advisor website to sign up a customer in Connecticut. It won't even appear. It'll be like the state's not open yet. So we can't earn bonuses, because if you can't sign up customers, you cannot earn bonuses, residuals, or get credit for personal or team customers. They will not count toward the compensation plan. So that's what you can't do in Connecticut. Now, here's the lay of the land in Connecticut. All right. So Think Energy, the company, has to, by regulation, they have to publicly post their available rates and accept customers on the Connecticut rate board in order to be compliant. Like if they're able to offer a rate to anyone, they have to be able to publicly post it on the website. So in order to maintain compliance and keep their license, they have to post this up on the Connecticut Rate Board website, which means that customers can sign up directly with Think Energy. And if they don't do that, then they're not in compliance with their licensing. And so customers that sign up directly with Think Energy, once we have the free energy program, which will probably launch at the time when we launch the rest of the states here, they will be able to participate in the Free Energy Club program when it launches. So customers who sign up directly with Think Energy will be just like any other customer. They'll be able to get their app when the app becomes available, or use their portal, and they'll be able to refer customers toward the free energy program. Now, customers that are enrolling through directly with Think Energy, and any of the customers they refer, they will not be able to be transferred to Think Energy advisors later on. Like, even when we get everything set, due to some regulatory stuff that's happening in the state of Connecticut, we will not be able to transfer those customers back to advisors later. All right. They would actually, in order to do that, the customer would have to cancel and then enroll again. So that's kind of where we are. All right. And that's kind of the lay of the land in Connecticut. So here's kind of a temporary method. And then I'm going to wrap this all up, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. If you have Connecticut customers right now that want to choose a supplier right now, because rates are high right now in Connecticut, they are definitely, you can refer them to energizect.com or to thinkenergy.com. And you can advise them. I mean, I would recommend, we're actually recommending you send them to energizect.com in this case, because I talked to Mike Falquist about it. He said, I'd rather advise them to choose a non-Think supplier right now as a temporary stopgap measure on the EnergizedCT site. And then once we get this whole thing corrected in Connecticut, so that we can actually move forward with the advisor program fully, you can then sign those customers up later directly on the through your advisor portal. So if you have a Connecticut customer that wants to choose a supplier right now, you can send them to energizect.com. There are suppliers that they can choose from there that are non-Think suppliers, and you will see Think Energy there, but you can advise your customer to choose a different provider if you'd like. It's up to you. And they can do that, and they'll be able to save some money. And then you can then sign them up later once we get everything sorted out in Connecticut because of the regulatory side. Okay. So again, if they sign up with Think Energy, that's fine too. If you ended up wanting to get them back, it's just a little bit more messy, because they would have to then cancel their service, wait a certain period of time, and then come back to you as a customer. And I talked to Mike Falquist about it. He said, that's kind of messy. So just use the rate board as a temporary stopgap. Okay, great. So because there are no early termination fees in Connecticut, they can save money with that other supplier, and it'll bridge that gap until you can personally enroll that customer through your Think website. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. Here's what to expect. So Think Energy is definitely focused on opening the states that have no temporary regulatory hurdles. See, we have some temporary regulatory hurdles, it looks like, in Connecticut here. So rather than delaying all of the states by waiting and trying to fix Connecticut at the same time when you can just launch the rest of the states, instead, let's launch those states. And then after, Think Energy will address after the launch. They'll do everything they can. They're already doing everything they can possible to satisfy these regulatory requirements while allowing energy advisors to earn full that will allow energy advisors to earn full compensation on customers. Okay, so that's the focus. They're doing everything to make sure that this is going to happen. It's just that we're not going to get it done before all of the other states launch. So we have a little bit of a hiccup here. All right. And the reason I'm going to give you the really exactly what it is in Connecticut. The regulatory environment in Connecticut is kind of like this. It's like if all of a sudden we open up the advisor program for everybody in Connecticut and we get them certified in the state of Connecticut, and then somebody says the wrong thing, which imagine if you had 5 or 10 or 20 or 50,000 people in Think Energy in Connecticut join as advisors, the chances of somebody saying the wrong thing to a customer is pretty high. Like they wouldn't maybe not do it on purpose. They would just do it by accident. But if you say the wrong thing, it's kind of like the regulatory environment in Connecticut is they'll just throw you out and like you lost your license. So we're working to create something where that does not happen, because no one wants to start something and then stop it. So we're going to make sure that we can start and stay. And so that's what is being worked on in the background kind of right now, just to give you an idea. That's one of the things. So in the meantime, you can sign up as an advisor and bring other advisors, focus on enrolling advisors in all states, including Connecticut, and then help them gather customers in all of the other open markets and keep building. That's what we're doing. We keep building in Connecticut. Build, if you have people in Connecticut, bring them in, let them know what's going on, let them know that they'll be able to get customers down the road, not right now, and let them know to build elsewhere in the meantime. That is exactly what we're doing, okay? And what I'll say is that earning and promoting from Connecticut customers is just a temporary delay. That's what it looks like. It's not a dead end. All right. So that's what's going on in the state of Connecticut. All right. And just to give you an idea, there are some avenues, in my opinion, and in looking around at all the things that can happen in Connecticut, there's a lot of different things that can happen in Connecticut for us to be able to satisfy the regulatory requirements of Connecticut by getting people certified and letting them bring customers aboard, and at the same time to insulate the company from anything that an advisor might say the wrong way, intentionally or not, so that the company doesn't lose their license. That's the focus. How do we do things in the state of Connecticut that satisfy regulators, that get everyone certified, and at the same time does not allow the company to lose its license? That's what we're working with. And so there are ways that can happen. There are several ways that can happen. I'm not going to go into all the specifics on it, but just to give you an idea of some ways that it could happen, we have the ability in the state of Connecticut, because community solar it's a law in the state of Connecticut. It's actually a program in the state of Connecticut. There just aren't a lot of farms there. So we don't even have it up on the board like, hey, community solar in Connecticut, because you really can't sign up for a farm yet. But that may open up in the future. And so by being a community solar provider and it being an actual law in Connecticut that you can actually do it, they've already passed laws for it, we could potentially be signing up community solar customers early for farms that haven't even opened yet, and kind of creating a waiting list. And that way we would be bringing customers to Think Energy, when you think about it, as potential community solar customers down the road. Now Think Energy has the relationship with the customer. So then potentially Think Energy could then sign them up, market to them for electricity service, and it's not us selling to the customer. So therefore, we as advisors can't be saying the wrong thing, because we're just signing them up as potential community solar customers down the road, like a waiting list. That opens up the relationship for then Think Energy to then market effectively to that customer by sending them the exact communication with the exact wording. Nobody can say the wrong thing. It insulates the company from any regulatory hiccups from people saying the wrong thing. So the license is protected. And then they sign them up as a customer. and they get transferred back to you as the advisor that started out that lead for community solar. Therefore, you're not actually selling electricity. You're just referring a community solar customer to the company, and then the company is bringing them aboard for the electricity side. So that's just one way. There's a lot of different ways that this can go. And the reason it's not happening before we launch is because that's a lot of things that have to be talked about with regulators, and there just isn't enough time. So we're going to be in a delay in the state of Connecticut. Being able to make money on customers not going to happen right away. And we're going to work on that as we go after we get these markets launched. So I'm going to make it so that people can unmute themselves if you like. And I will also, let's keep this here. We have that. I'm going to go through the chat first just to see, because there's a few people that put, yeah, we do have great rates. So thanks for being here, Greenville, South Carolina, nice and warm. So that's absolutely, that's a great way to go. So we do have incredible rates in the state of Connecticut. If this is any indicator, right? I mean, it's just crazy. 24 cents is the rate in the state of Connecticut with Eversource, and we're coming in at like 14 cents right now, 14 and change right now. Just amazing how we have this program. So John, have Think Energy give a price the same as the local provider. Yeah, that could be, you could do that too. Absolutely. Let's see if they wanted to, but we have to make our readily available price, that's out there for everyone, has to be the same for everyone. So that's kind of how it works. Are there early termination fees in Illinois? Illinois, I don't know that answer. I imagine that there will be. I think Connecticut is the only state, but is there going to be a licensing requirement for any of these states? Yes, not a licensing requirement for us. There's licensing requirement for Think Energy. So just to give you an idea, we don't have the licensing. Think Energy does. They're already licensed in all of the states, so we don't have to worry about that. We just get certified by taking a quiz, watching some videos, taking a quiz, that type of thing. How soon? Kathy, how soon? So thanks for that, Bob. How soon can we sign up as a consultant from Kathy or as an advisor? We're going to be signing up, it looks like, potentially, in the next couple days here. We're right at it. So what states are open now for advisors? Susan, every state is open to become an advisor. Every state. So you can become an advisor in all 50 states. You can sign up advisors in all 50 states. And we have 13 states roughly that we're going to launch here, starting sometime in early February, toward the end of January, early February. So we'll have opportunities in almost every state that we put on the map there. Those 13 states that we've been showing for I don't know how long. Chris, thanks for doing this. I appreciate that. Jody, Pura is a terrible agency. Yeah, Pura, Public Utility Regulation Authority. Well, they do have their ins and outs. Let's put it that way. So how about New York and New Jersey rates? New York is variable rates. We have long-term rates versus variable rates. New Jersey, we don't know the rates yet. They haven't switched their rate around yet. So we're not going to know what all those rates are. We just happen to know in Connecticut because we're actually already open in Connecticut because of the way state regulations work. When you have the license, you need to post a rate in order to keep your license. Jeannie, how do you suggest that we explain to Connecticut, friends, people, why we are suggesting another supplier for a while? You can tell them because you as an advisor are not able to participate yet, and you're waiting for some regulatory stuff. That's what I would say. I can't participate as an advisor yet, in Connecticut. I'm an advisor in Connecticut, but I can't get credit for you being my customer. So why don't you go to another supplier right now, or go to Think Energy, whichever one you want, but I'd recommend going to another supplier because I can't help you really. And when I can bring you back aboard, we will. So that's it. It's up to you. You determine what's best for you and your business. We're just giving you like all of the options. So they could stay with Eversource or UI. They could switch to another provider. They could choose Think Energy, whatever they want to do. You have a way to get them aboard later on down the road, either way. When do you think the other states will launch? That's going to be in the next, between now and maybe the first week of February. Again, subject to change, but that's what the expectation is. Early February, end of this month, early February. So we're looking like 2 to 3 weeks potentially. What's happening in Florida, Jerry? Florida Power and Light, nothing. Not a lot going on in Florida right now with any of these offerings that we have. Let's see. Joe, who will be the one that gets the status of first energy advisor for Think Plus? It'll be a mad rush at the gate, right? I think we already kind of know the answer to that one, so appreciate that. My question about Pennsylvania. Okay, we'll talk about that. I have a friend that lives in Matamoros in Pike County, PA. Great, get him aboard. Have him come in as an advisor. I think Matamoros is maybe PP&L territory. So Pennsylvania is looking good. We're going to launch the PP&L territory, Tony, in Pennsylvania right out of the gate here, early February or so. And you'll be able to then take that. You'll be able, if you're in PP&L territory, we are going to launch there, and we know we're going to have a rate that is attractive and lower than the utility company right out of the gate. So just to give you an idea. You look, Angela, same thing. You can tell customers, go to Think Energy if you want. And then if you want to get them back on as a customer for your advisorship in Connecticut after we are able to do that, you can have them cancel with Think Energy corporate and then come back. It's just a little bit messy that way. It might take longer. So use it as a stopgap. I talked to Mike about it. He said, yeah, that's a great way to do it. Why not? Or tell them to stay right where they are. Are the customer apps ready to go as soon as we sign up? They will be, once the other markets launch, but not in Connecticut. If you sign up right now in Connecticut as a customer, you're not going to get the customer app because the customer free energy app and program is not available yet anywhere. So that's launching in February, probably. Let's see. I didn't see it on the PP&L update link. Okay. Let's see. Have you seen the replicated website? Yeah, it's going to look a lot like the thinkenergy.plus website. So take a look at thinkenergy.plus and it'll look a lot like that, except it's going to have some videos and some links on it that are not there now. So that site, thinkenergy.plus, is what our replicated sites are going to look like. So definitely check that out. Yeah, Jody, I know. If you're as an agency trying to protect the consumer, but in the process, sometimes they take away customer choice. Yeah. I mean, you think about it in Connecticut, they try to make it and do the things that, they're trying to do things the right way. But, we have low income customers in the state of Connecticut. I mean, if you think about this, they made a rule that said, if you're with a third party supplier and you're on energy assistance with the state of Connecticut, you can't be with a third party supplier. But then they jack the rate up to 24 cents and the suppliers are all like 14 cents, 15 cents, 16 cents. And now the low income people or people who need the help the most, they're energy assistance, maybe they're low income, but they're on energy assistance, so they need something. They're not allowed to switch. They have to end up paying 24 cents a kilowatt hour. So yeah, they kind of got that one wrong. Will small business owners be able to take advantage? Sure. They'll be able to sign up, delis and et cetera. Sure. As long as they're not demand meters, they're small commercial, non-demand meters. Absolutely. Did you just say that New York and New Jersey are going to have variable rates? New York, the utility companies have variable rates. The whole state does. Think Energy does not have variable rates. New Jersey, they have fixed rates as well with the utilities, and we will have long-term fixed rates. So we'll have long-term fixed rates in every single state. We will not have variable rates anywhere for Think Energy. Utilities in the state of New York, however, they're on variable rates. They change every day. Let's see. Bob, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So excuse my question. Okay, well, that's fine. What's my role in all this? I am one of the founding partners of the Think Energy, of the Think Plus network, along with my business partners, Jim and Brendan and Ed Kenny. So just to give you, that's my role in all of this. I'm not an employee of Think Energy or Think Plus. Let's see. What's the difference between us and other suppliers? It's rates, or are we more competitive? Yeah, we have long-term fixed rates. That's for another program. So you can go through and see our videos and our overviews of how we do that and what we're offering. We have 4 distinct offerings throughout what we're doing here. Eventually 5, like by next year, there'll be 5 total. And so it's not just about a rate. We're helping people to get a long-term fixed rate and then chip away at that rate long-term, chip away at that rate by doing certain things to bring it down, 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 down lower so that you can eventually get it for free. All right. We don't know exactly when we'll be signing up solar customers in New York. Do you have an announcement about Maryland? Nope. We're just going to launch there just like we would everywhere else. Let's see, not a lot of questions in here that are coming through that have nothing to do with the Connecticut market. So that's it, Joe. We're selling the benefit of price stability, price certainty. That's exactly it. Yes, you can see on our listings with the, with all of the, state programs that we have, you can see that all the markets that we're going to be launching in just by going on to our overviews that we did. So yes, 13 states will be in Connecticut. In addition to Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Washington, D.C. Wow. Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Illinois, and eventually Texas. All right. Anybody have their hand up? Let me go ahead and do that. If anybody has their hand up, not sure. I think everybody's kind of going with the chat on this side. So, all right, let's go. We have Ask to Unmute. We have Dana. All right. I think, Dana, you can go right ahead.
Hey, Tony. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All right, Dana, how are you?
I'm well, man. Thanks.
All right, good.
So you had said that with the community solar, like, one of the techniques that was a possibility was to be able to, for a rep in Connecticut to refer a community solar customer, and then they would kind of reach out and connect with them as a potential Think Energy customer, correct?
That's a possibility, sure. If that's where we go. Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities. That's definitely one of them.
And then they would be, if that was to happen, I guess we're talking hypothetical. So I suppose I'll just hold off on all this conversation. All right.
No, that's fine. It all, Dana, anything that would happen after that would all result in a customer coming aboard and being your customer because you're the one that started out that relationship.
Yeah. So I was just trying to understand, why it couldn't be done to where if, for example, let's say I'm just a customer, right? And then I go out there and I refer other customers and then I become a rep later on. Why wouldn't I be able to get those customers that were my potential, my customers just for the free energy? Why wouldn't they be able to be transferred back to me as a rep?
That's a great question. And that would come down to state law. So there you go. It's regulations in the state of Connecticut forbid that from happening.
Okay.
There you go. It's not that Think can't do it. I mean, it's not that Think doesn't want to do it. They can't do it.
Okay.
So until we have an open program in the state of Connecticut and you are certified as a Connecticut advisor to have customers come through your website personally yourself, you cannot, or certified to actually earn, you cannot have the customers be attributed to you. And that's what it comes out to. So again, if we were to go out and certify 5,000 representatives in the state of Connecticut right now and get them certified, right? Hey, get certified. You took a quiz and now you're able to go and market to everybody that you want to. The chances of one person saying the wrong thing is extremely high. And so if you think about that, if you were the owner of Think Energy, you would probably not want to bring customers in through that platform, through that type of program. If one person said the wrong thing and they could take your license away from you because of state regulations, that would be too much of a risk. So we need to find another way to do this rather than having 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people in the state of Connecticut go and market electricity and make sure that everybody says the right thing 100% of the time. It's just very difficult to do. So that's kind of where we are.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to definitely find some ways around that. I mean, there's other things that can be done too, potentially, when you think about it. Like we could just have a lead program where you're not allowed to sell electricity in the state of Connecticut, even though you've been certified. So you've been certified, you're able to earn, but the company think says, well, we don't want you saying the wrong thing. So instead of you being able to send somebody to your personal link or quote rates or anything like that, all you're going to do is put the customer's name and phone number in your referral portal as a lead, and then the company will take over and give all the communication to the customer. So they'll send the link, they'll send the rates to them, they'll send the agreement or whatever you want to call it, the terms and conditions over to them, so that no one's saying the wrong thing. That's the key. We just have to make sure that we can get customers without anyone saying the wrong thing. And there are several ways to do it. We just have to work through it, and it's going to take time. And there was not enough time to do that between December and January. Impossible with the holidays and everything else. There was no way to bite that off and actually be able to chew it up and spit it out and make it look good. So we have to launch all of the other states and then come back and fix Connecticut, in the right way. So that's where we are. All right. So Dana, thanks for that. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Nick. Let me see if we can get you, Nick, here. I think we got you.
Yeah, what's up, Tony? Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
So some of my question kind of piggybacks off of what you guys were just saying. I was just curious as to if you guys were really looking for, or if corporate's really looking for a loophole, so to speak, here to make this thing work, or if we're just sitting back and waiting for like legislation and regulations to change in Connecticut. Because, if that's the case, I just feel like this could take 2, 4, 8 years, for that to happen. But
yeah, definitely.
It's corporate.
No, we're definitely, Nick, we're definitely not waiting for legislation to happen. And it's not that we're looking for a loophole either. It's that we're looking to, there's a lot of different ways that we already figured out how this could work. It's just a matter of making sure that we propose it and everything is above board, not a loophole, totally 100% compliant, but getting permission within the regulations that already exist to make sure, not getting permission, but just making sure in the regulations as they exist that we are legally and compliantly doing the right thing, not trying to change anything, not trying to do any backdoor anything. Just what can we do within the framework of the legislation and laws and rules the way they are now. That's what we're doing. And that takes time. And we just didn't have enough time between Christmas and now, to be able to do that.
Gotcha. All right. I appreciate that. Any idea, like anything that I could tell my other associates or advisors in Connecticut, because I have a huge network there. Is it like a maybe 6 to 12 months period, would you say? Or I have no idea.
Don't know. Could be weeks, could be months.
Okay.
So it could be, hey, we just find, we end up launching, and then a week later, hey, this is what we're doing. It's just a matter of how fast we can go after it and how fast, we're able to get an answer back. So it's just going to take some time. So tell all of your people in Connecticut, pretend Connecticut isn't open. What would you do if Connecticut was never going to be open? What would you do if you lived in Connecticut and you wanted to take advantage of this? You would do what my friend in Hawaii is doing. You'd ask everybody that you came in contact with, who do you know in these 12 states, not including Connecticut? Who do you know in these 12 states? Who do you know in these 12 states? And you'd build a coalition and build a team from no matter what distance. I mean, as long as you live in the United States or have a tax ID number, you can build this thing anywhere you want. I think our biggest income earners are going to come from states that are not where they can't even be a customer. I'd probably be able to be pretty accurate in saying that too. I bet that the people who are our top income earners don't even live in states where they can be a customer of Think Energy, because they understand it doesn't matter if you live in the state or not. So appreciate that, Nick.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here. All right. Let's see. Do we have anybody else that is looking to, and might need to check the chat box as well. They keep coming in. Things keep coming in. Will there be a training manual available soon? Yes, we'll have all kinds of training. Like you said, Joe, focus on building outside of Connecticut for now, except if you know people in the state of Connecticut as advisors, you want them as well. Definitely. So yeah, outside of the state of Connecticut for customers, inside the state of Connecticut for advisors. That's definitely it. Yeah, so let's see. Do we have to be certified in every state? It'll be one certification, Lee, for all the states. Let's see. Yeah, John, I understand. Yeah, John, I appreciate if you're suggesting Connecticut customers not go pick Think Energy, then raise the Think Energy price so they don't pick Think Energy corporate. Well, that's one way, but Think Energy wants the customers. I mean, they're open in the market. They're just we have a delay, but we'll be able to go get those customers back. Even if they end up with Think, you'll be able to work something out to have them, leave and come back if that's the case. So just talk to your customers about it. What does the asterisks mean next to the asterisks mean on the New York PowerPoint presentation? It's what's called a mass market certification, Paul. And so that means that mass market is basically residential. And so we have the license. We took over the license from Think Energy, right? When we acquired Think Energy. And then there's two things that have to happen after that. Because it's a change in ownership, but it's the same license, something has to be signed that says, okay, here's your commercial market license, signed, done. That's already been signed. For some reason, the residential one didn't get signed yet, but it's not like they can't sign it. We have the license already. They just have to put the signature on it to move it through the process. And that's what's happening right now. So it's not like we have to do something or they can say no license. It's already there. They just have to file it. So we're just waiting for the filing is basically what it comes out to. All right. So let's see. Luke, did I sign up today as an advisor? No, me and my partners did not sign up today as an advisor. We need a couple more days. We're getting close. All right. Let's see. Jeff. Haven't seen this on the slides. Some energy companies have to go through a third-party verification. Will Think perform this for Connecticut and other states? So we are doing digital verification in all states. So we do verification, and it's done digitally instead of a phone call. Now, if someone fails the digital process by, they didn't answer the question right, whatever it is, it's all government identity questions type thing. So if what's your birth date? Well, you didn't put that in, or, did you live at one of these addresses or none? And you didn't answer it correctly. Those kinds of questions, So if you didn't answer the question correctly, then you would have to do a verbal verification. But look, I went through the Think Energy sign-up process because I'm in Connecticut and I wanted to see how it worked. And so I became a Think Energy customer just because I wanted to see. And I'll tell you what, I've been in the energy sector for 10 years, and I don't know, I've helped tens of thousands or so more, get onto energy supply. And personally probably enrolled side by side, 700-800 personal customers myself in the past 10 years. I have never seen, it was the easiest sign up process I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, somebody finally figured it out. And so, yeah, we had this great sign up process. It was very cool. Let's see. Do utility companies offer payment plans where people can get the same bill each month? Like you're talking about having, level billing, right? So having the same payment plan as you go each month. And then at the end of the year, you settle up if it was up or down. Yeah, they still have that. Utility companies offer that. Absolutely. And you can still be a Think customer within that environment as well. All right, let's see. Free electric for commercial customers. No, free electricity is a residential program. Absolutely. All right. So here's the thing, Joe. I appreciate that question. So you can, as a residential customer, you can download the app when we have it, when we launch, or go to your customer portal. If you don't have a smartphone, right, you can just go to your customer portal. They'll both work the same way. And as a residential customer, you can refer residential customers or you can refer commercial customers toward your free energy. But a commercial customer cannot refer other customers to get free energy. And I'm going to put a caveat on that. And I'm just going to say right now, because I don't know. I mean, everything that we're doing right now is not where we're going to end up. Okay. It's just what we're able to do right out of the gate. But there's a lot of stuff. There's tons of stuff that is coming down the road here for us that you'd be blown away with what they're looking to do long term with this. You can't do everything at launch, but we're going to have a lot of announcements, some really cool stuff, technologies, programs, and all different types of things. Let's see. All right. So will there be training materials in writing that mirror training videos? Yes, you'll have all of that. They'll have as much of that as we can at launch, I'm sure. I mean, there's going to be written documentation. There's already kind of policies and terms and procedures and things like that that are out there. Plus, we have a compensation plan. So all of that is there. All right. So let's see, making sure we don't have any other questions. If there's anyone who has their hand up, I'm going to get to that. And if not, if there aren't, then I'm going to get back to letting everybody go so that they can hop on to the 8 p.m. Overview. So I think we have Demetrius. So let me see there, Demetrius. I think I got you there. Maybe. Go ahead, Demetrius.
Yes, if a customer in a state, let's say Massachusetts, signs up as a customer and then refers X number of their friends as customers, and then they say, oh my goodness, this is a good deal. I think I'll become an advisor. Mm-hmm. Any chance of them getting credit for the customers they referred as an advisor?
I don't think there's any chance of that, because let's say that you and your team of people, you've kind of built your team. And so, your sponsor, let's say, has sponsored you and you brought customers into the platform. And your sponsor is, at a certain level and earning because you came in and you're kind of locked to that person. So that's how our compensation plan works. Wherever you join, you're going to get coded to everyone who came before you, so to speak. And so that gets locked into place and is rock solid and has to stay there. It does not change forever, which is kind of cool. That allows you to build long-term residuals and nobody can kind of play around with that. So no, I don't think that that's going to happen, because that those customers already belong to someone else for their livelihood and their residual for the work that they did to bring them aboard. So in that case, if that customer wants to, refers customers and then wants to become an advisor, they would have to go through the compensation plan just like everybody else did. They're starting, at brand new. So they're not going to be able to go and retrieve those customers. I just don't think there's a way to do it without upsetting the apple cart of the entire compensation plan. So that's just my opinion. Maybe something might be worked out in the future.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. I think it would dismantle the compensation plan in effect by doing that. And so I don't think Mike Falquist is going to want to go there.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a great question. I'd love to have that. If here's the thing I'll say, Demetrius, never say never in these things, right? Because who knows, Mike might come up, and the people, we have some brilliant people over at the company between Mike Falquist and Brad Tales and John Breitbart and all the other people that are there. I mean, you can see our consultant support, our advisor support department. I mean, Rosa and Kevin, top notch. I mean, I wouldn't put him past him to come up with some way to satisfy that. Maybe it's not like, okay, you can just move them, but there might be some way to do something there. So I'm just going to put an asterisk there and say maybe.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Have a good night. All right, anybody else that we have here? I think we are good. All right, everybody. I've got almost 7:45, so appreciate everybody being here. Oh, by the way, last thing I'll let you guys know is everything that we wrote in here, the slides, we have it in a document. We'll send it out so that everybody can kind of share it with people and you understand exactly what's kind of going on in the state of Connecticut. So that way you can avoid, just have your questions answered sooner. So we'll send that out to people. So appreciate everybody being here. Have a great night. We will be back. Let me get to the, it's already up there on the screen. So we will be back here. Well, not here. We won't be back here, but we'll be back at zoom.us/J/44387100086. Let's see. Do we have any other pressing questions? I don't think so. So we have that good. So, yep. All those other questions are we're going to handle that as we go. All right. Appreciate everybody being here. This is Tony Percope.